this for any of your listeners, but like at the very beginning of the game, you get shot in the head by an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
You wake up and you're like, wow, I feel motivated.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go get this guy.
Welcome to the Delos Diaries.
And
Yeah, I
that
remember that
carries
game.
you.
It's one of my favorite games. Fallout New Vegas is incredible.
It's amazing. Phenomenal storytelling, right? Like, arguably the best in the series. Don't at me.
Yeah,
But,
no,
like-
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Right? But like, the stakes are set. They're personal, and there's like vitriol there, and like you want to go do a thing.
Yeah.
That drives that story, and I think we can learn that from writers. Like, what gets in your gut and motivates you about this moment.
So what I mean, it kind of touches on a point, like, we in video games, like the character creation. Like, we love, like, I'm not a big fan of character creation because I get overwhelmed by the options. But my friends love character creation. They've spent hours in Baldur's Gate 3 just creating a character. So, I mean, what does that tell you about the art of making a compelling character, in the sense that you are like, what is the art of creating compelling characters? I think I'm asking here.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've seen a few different approaches, both in video games that translate into books. One of them is sort of the blank slate approach, right? Where like we're going to define the aesthetics of this character, the color of the hair, the color of the eyes, all the things that people who enjoy that mini game of character creation enjoy. I don't myself enjoy it that much, but lots of people do.
Yes.
But then it's pretty much a blank slate, right? Like you can sort of in your head canon believe any number of things about this character and how it would respond to the world, but there's nothing that's going to force you. You can sort of go out and live out your whatever fantasy. Skyrim is a great example of this, right?
Yes.
And there are lots of games like that. Interestingly, we see the same parallel in a lot of genre fiction as well, right? Sometimes, I'm trying to think of an example without calling any book out, but let's say the romance genre, like as a whole, often has protagonists that can be self-inserts, right?
Yes.
So that people can go through and like enjoy the world of whatever that romance is in whatever way they want to. It's by design that these characters are maybe not as driven or fleshed out, which isn't to say that all romance books are like that, but like many, it exists, right? Similar on the flip side, though, you get games like let's say BioShock or BioShock Infinite, right?
Yep.
Where you've got a character that you're playing, but that's not you, right? Like there was a predefined like story and set of motivations and drives that this character like possesses, and BioShock plays with that in like some really fun and interesting ways, right?
Yes, yeah, it does.
But like, or I mean, maybe even arguably Fallout New Vegas. I need to think about this longer. But you start out with stakes. Like there's something that is true about the character that is like not necessarily like a blank space for you to inhabit, but rather a predefined story that the game is interested in telling you.
Would you say stakes are the primary thing for all characters? I mean, you mentioned it before. Like, do you think that's where authors should start with, is the stakes of the story? And some authors go at writing focusing on characters and what motivates them and what's at stake for them, or do you place it in the world, so to speak? Or is it one of those weird things where I think stakes are the most important thing in terms of developing a compelling character?
I think so. I mean, this has moved over time, right? Like historically, we've had very plot-driven narratives. In the modern era, we've shifted